And we're back. This is Mike Rato, and welcome to a new episode. And today we're going to talk about what if Seth Rollins never got injured in 2015. Unfortunately, in pro wrestling, injuries are bound to happen. One mistake, one botch, it can lead to your career ending. And as for Seth Rollins, well, he got injured in 2015 and cost him his WWE Championship during that time. He is the biggest heel at that time and he lost the title because he got injured in a match with Kane. And this what if we're going to talk about in an alternative timeline where Seth Rollins never got injured and he is still the champ that runs Monday Night Raw. In the match versus Kane, we actually changed that spot, that infamous sunset flip power bomb. In turn, actually, the Wyatts interfered in that match because I think in that match also, well, Kane actually has a rivalry with the Wyatt family, with The Undertaker. That's why we're going to make it happen. And the Wyatts actually makes a factor in that match, cost Kane the title, and yeah, Seth Rollins never got injured. Well, good thing for Seth, he is still a champion, but unfortunately for him, his run will end in Survivor Series 2015. Why? Because Roman Reigns will win the title here for approximately 5 minutes and 15 seconds, which actually happened in real life. And then Sheamus cashes in to Roman Reigns, and he is now the new WWE champion by either match exhaustion or an assault by the authority. And then the next night, Sheamus is the champion, and then Roman Reigns kind of asking for his rematch, and then Seth Rollins asked for his rematch. And then the match is also set at the next night, Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the number one contendership. And then in that match, there will be no contest. And then the next night, the next Monday Night Raw, we will not include also SmackDown because some things actually happen here in this era. It's actually full of DQ finishes and non-contests. So we will focus on Monday Night Raw. And then so that the League of Nations will never be a factor in this rivalry. Sheamus will have his own run. Also, we will have some conflicts within the authority because Triple H favored Sheamus cashing in his contract. And then, yeah, Roman Reigns will kind of get the sympathy of the fans. But because Seth Rollins is here, I think he will get the most biggest pop in this three-way rivalry. And then as for that, well, Roman Reigns will get a shot at TLC due to some matches in number one contenderships, while Seth Rollins is just arguing with Triple H backstage why he isn't getting the WWE title shot. And then the same thing happened at TLC 2015. Sheamus retains, and then because of the authority this time, and not by League of Nations, because the League of Nations actually serve as a full of jobbers for Roman Reigns to overcome. I'm sorry for those members, but it kind of looks like that. So instead of the League of Nations, well, Sheamus will put himself also with the authority, aligning himself with Triple H. So yeah, but in this time also, there will be no WWE Championship match at the next night. We will not rush the Roman Reigns victory here, just like what they did in real life. I know it's to generate pop, but we will reserve that victory at WrestleMania. And as for that next night, well, Seth Rollins will get his match with Sheamus, which will be interrupted by Reigns, causing Sheamus retaining the title because they're having their three-way rivalry. And then yeah, that kinds of happens. Fast forward to Royal Rumble. It will be also a Royal Rumble match for the WWE title. And in that match, there will be a final 5 contestants which composes of Dean Ambrose, Triple H. Triple H also will be in the Royal Rumble match. The champion Sheamus, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And then I think the logical choice is to have Seth Rollins win the title here. I know he is the champion in 2015, and if you're thinking, why did I make Sheamus cash in if I'm going to return the title back to Seth? Well, it's also for the Money in the Bank briefcase because a lot of people loses their briefcase championship chances nowadays, just like Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin. I don't want that to happen to the Money in the Bank holder, which is in this time Sheamus, which actually won the title in real life against Roman Reigns. So yeah, I will give back the title to Seth Rollins, which he will have this run until WrestleMania. And in the next night, well, the people of the authority will come with Seth Rollins, congratulating him with Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and then the remaining members of the authority at this time. I think they're the only remaining members because J&J also quit, I think. Kane is a monster. Randy Orton is a babyface. So, in this timeline, well, Seth Rollins was congratulated, but unfortunately for him, Dean Ambrose will challenge him for the next pay-per-view, which Ambrose loses, and then it will set up for a triple threat shield match at WrestleMania between these three because there will be a lot of build up from these three's past. And then yeah, instead of having title match on Battleground, we will have it on WrestleMania 32. So in this build up, we will talk about the past of the Shield, why Seth is the architect, why Roman Reigns is the guy, I think that's his nickname, and then Dean Ambrose as the lunatic fringe. Seth Rollins will talk about his heel turn, his successful reign as the WWE champion, which he actually won the title twice. He will talk about also Roman Reigns' WWE title reign, which also lasted 5 minutes on this timeline. And then he will talk about Dean Ambrose being the one who left out and who he always bested at their matches. He always loses to Seth Rollins. They will focus on that. And then as for Dean Ambrose, he will just be his own ways where he does these crazy things, his crazy stick. How about their opponents on real life? Well, we will build a lot of them also in this WrestleMania 32. As for Triple H, well, he will feud with The Rock in this timeline also. The Rock will not have a film during this time, and then so he will be available at WrestleMania. And for the build up also, they will focus on Triple H causing problems to Reigns, which will cause The Rock to return, and then the authority will kind of have The Rock attacked, or Triple H attacking The Rock, and then they will have their best promos with each other because Triple H and The Rock have a huge chemistry in the ring as their final match. And we will kind of not advertise it as a retirement match for The Rock, but it will be on the contract stating that if The Rock loses at Triple H, he will retire at WrestleMania. Because remember, this is The Rock's last match as for the record. So we will silently just put it on the contract. They will never announce it until the match, after the match. So that will happen. And as for Brock Lesnar, who is feuding with Dean Ambrose at this time, well, he will feud with John Cena. So why? Even though he's injured, Cena's injured, but why? Well, in this timeline also, Cena is healthy. I hope so. And then when Cena's healthy, he will feud with the man who eventually caused him to be weak and who destroyed him at SummerSlam 2014. They can build up on that. And then John Cena actually besting him at Extreme Rules. They will have this rivalry, and Paul Heyman and John Cena can have a huge, good promo, great promo, because those two are great mic talkers. So yeah, the two matches will happen. So as for The Undertaker, he will fight Shane McMahon, and then the other matches for WrestleMania happens. And as for The Rock and Triple H, they will co-main event WrestleMania. And for the WWE Championship match between The Shield, while they will also be the main event of WrestleMania for this timeline. Because I think this is the second time that Roman Reigns actually main evented WrestleMania. So Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins main evented a Mania for themselves, even though Seth Rollins cashes in on WrestleMania 31. Well, he is not actually advertised in the match, and even though he technically main event a Mania, well, let's just say in this timeline, he also main evented WrestleMania 32. So the World Championship is set between these three, the build up between these three, and the other rivalries, as I stated, because I move the other superstars to the respective dream matches. And yes, even though John Cena vs Brock Lesnar is not that much of a dream match, but if these two can bring the best out of each other, give them time, give Brock Lesnar the brutality he needs, and not just the suplex city stick, and then John Cena will kind of return with a chain in this match, a throwback to the first time they met, the Thuganomics John Cena. Well, it will have a great match between these two. And as for the main event of WrestleMania, these three, Roman Reigns will win the title here. I know you're thinking, well, how about Dean Ambrose? Well, he will win the title later on this year, when before the brand split. So yeah, that matches happen. So what happens in the Money in the Bank, if you're asking me? Well, the same thing happened at Money in the Bank, except they will not revolve on Seth Rollins actually not losing the Roman Reigns. They will not revolve on that, except this is the final rematch for Seth Rollins, which they will reveal. They will have their own build on that. The final desperation match for Seth Rollins, where fans are actually starting to cheer him again, and he will start to have a throw on shades of being a babyface at this time. And then unfortunately for this timeline, just like in real life, Roman Reigns will also have his problems, which he will be suspended. So yeah. And as for the matches for the next pay-per-view, AJ Styles will challenge Roman Reigns, and then those things happened with AJ Styles and Seth and Roman Reigns having a good rematches. And then unfortunately for AJ Styles, he will not win the title yet here, because he will win the title later in this year. So yes, the title actually goes on the same thing, just like in real life, except the build up on Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins in Money in the Bank, it will be more on a desperation move for Seth Rollins to win his title back, because he lost it at WrestleMania to Roman Reigns in the Shield triple threat. And even though, well, he lost the title, he feels that he deserves a rematch, which Roman Reigns will just give him that, because baby faces, that's what they do when there's a heel that they think they want to have a match with. So that's set on Money in the Bank, and then after that match, well, Dean Ambrose will cash in. And then yeah, that same thing happens in real life. I just build this Shield triple threat match, and then as I told you, in WrestleMania 32 also, Triple H versus The Rock. Triple H beats The Rock because The Rock kinds of needs to have something, his final great match, which is not a squash match, and I think The Rock retiring at WrestleMania here makes great sense, even though he has a great performances on his matches. Well, he is too busy with Hollywood, and in that match, after that match, Rock will actually reveal what is in the contract, and that match is his retirement. So a huge hit for Triple H also. And as for John Cena versus Brock Lesnar's match, well, Cena wins this match against Lesnar for his final retribution, or we can make Brock Lesnar more of a monster here and destroy John Cena yet again. Whatever the booking may be, but yeah, that happens. So the roster comes again to the same thing as just like in real life. Well, also these said part-timers also get away for the next few weeks, and then they will return. As for John Cena, he will go to Hollywood also, and The Rock also. And as for Brock Lesnar, he will appear on special dates for his contract. And as for Triple H, well, he will be missing television because you know him, he is also a part-timer who works on special dates when it is necessary, and it is good to make a rivalry out of. So yes, they will also build on the Seth Rollins face turn, which will revolve on Seth Rollins versus Triple H, which in this timeline, yes, the same thing happens. The Universal title will be debuting this year, and then Finn Balor winning the title, but unfortunately for him, he's injured and he can't defend the title. So Seth Rollins will challenge for the title in that fatal 4-way match involving Kevin Owens, Big Cass, and Roman Reigns, which Kevin Owens will win because of a Triple H disturbing the match or distracting Seth Rollins and pedigreeing him for Kevin Owens to win the match. So did you enjoy this timeline with Seth Rollins not being injured? Do you want the triple threat shield match at WrestleMania? Do you think Ambrose deserves more? Or is it the same just like here? I also have it the same in the real life. But in here, he has the WrestleMania main event. He has something to brag out of. So yeah, did you enjoy this what if? If so, well, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and share all of my contents. Thank you for watching, and this is Mike Rato.